What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is P Valley, season 2, episode 4. So we started the episode off. We have a little flashback from last season. Remember the lady, the heavyset lady that was spending up her whole divorce settlement? She got drunk and she ended up in jail the night the Mercedes beat up her mama. Her. She is back and she is still spending this settlement. I don't know how much she got in that divorce, but baby, she is still spending this settlement. And we see her, she is double masked with the shield. And as the night goes on, she loses the shield, she loses one mask, and she go from being at the stage throwing dollars to, getting a lap dance throwing dollars to being in the champagne room throwing dollars. And by the time she gets to the champagne room, the dancer in there ends up ripping off her mask, which I have no idea why they're taking people's mask off. Like, if somebody want to have a mask on, let them have their damn mask on. Like, I don't understand it. But of course, she ends up ripping the mask off, and it's the dancer that keeps sneezing that they keep fussing at about, and she says it's just allergies, and they like, girl, whatever. Now, she ends up sneezing on the woman, and the woman loses her ever-loving mind. She starts yelling about the fact that they are out of compliance, that they're not following protocol, and come to find out she worked for the damn health department, and she ends up shutting them down. Now, I'm going to say this. There's a lot of fault to go around, okay? First of all, you saw they was out of compliance when you was throwing them dollars because people was mask on, mask off all over the place. So that's number one. So if you was really ready to shut somebody down, you should have been shutting somebody down when you was throwing them dollars, okay? Number two, Uncle Clifford. The first time that girl was sneezing and you was in the back talking about some, oh, hell nah, you should have sent her ass home to go get a test. I mean, I know this is early on when people first started opening up and they ain't really had a test like that and the lines to get a test was long. But you should have took care of that, Uncle Clifford. It was no reason in the world why that girl was still supposed to be there. Sneezing on people, okay? But it don't matter because she didn't shut the Pynk down. She said they got 24 hours to get in compliance, and of course she gave them this long list of stuff they got to do, or their ass is just going to end up what? Shut down for good. And I think she said a $25,000 fine. So they end up, once, Uncle Clifford said, I remember you the one that got drunk and yada, yada, yada. So she said, okay, fine. I can knock it down to an $11,000 fine, but that's it. Y'all need to get it open. And she told him, hurry up and get it open before because y'all know I need somewhere to spend my settlement. Like, she really don't want to shut them down, but they really are out of compliance. I mean, she was like, they were at full capacity. They was only supposed to be at half capacity. We know they were supposed to be wearing masks. They supposed to have plastic partitions. It was a lot of stuff. They didn't have the right filter on the air conditioner. It was all kinds of stuff. And, of course, it's just more money, more money, more money. Now, they in the back, and of course, the ladies are complaining, the dancers are complaining about, well, what we supposed to do, the Pynk done closed down again, yada, yada, yada. Well, one of the dancers, she done got, Flossie, and she done started mouthing off the Roulette, and she done let it be known that Roulette got alternative means of making her money, basically putting it out there that she, slurping and derping, okay? And Roulette ain't take that lightly. Okay, Roulette basically, she whooped that girl ass. It wasn't no basically to it. She whooped that girl, she whooped her ass, okay? Big L ended up having to literally carry her out of there and carry her into the office. They done got it on video because, whenever there's a fight, don't nobody try to break it up. They just try to get it on camera, child. So Big L ends up talking to Roulette, and he was like, yo, what's all that about? He was like, first of all, like, do you wrestle or something? Because you really whooped her ass. And so Big L was like, where you learn how to fight like that? He was like, you whooping people's ass. She was like, just women. I only beat women. And he said, he starts laughing. She was like, what you laughing at? And he was like, because you funny. He said, you remind me. He said, no, he said, just like my daughter. And then he said to her, he said, you miss him, your brother? So they know each other. I don't know how that's going to be a connection somewhere down the line because later on in the episode, Roulette ends up telling the story of her brother who was murdered by the police. And she actually has a tattoo of her brother on her arm. So Big L already knew that. So they know each other somehow. I hope they're not going to make her Big L's daughter. But anyway, moving on. And he said, well, there may be some truth to what she was saying, like the way you came about that truck the other night. And Roulette was like, okay, well, I came about the truck, but what the hell was you back here doing? And they pretty much in that moment come up with an agreement, basically, like, listen, you know, you doing what you doing and I'm doing what I'm doing, and we're gonna figure out a way to make this happen. Which of course we saw that going on last week. Like, Big L ain't gonna fire her because she know his business and now he know hers, right? Um, then it was so funny. They did like a playoff of that famous video of the two girls when the club, and they were like, well, what we gonna do if the paint closed? Ain't nowhere to go. Anyway, I know I did that all wrong, but it's a parody. I mean, y'all know what I'm saying. It's a reenactment of a real famous cute little video. Moving on. So Mercedes is calling, Uncle Clifford like, what the hell done happened? They done shut the Pynk down again. Why you ain't called me? Uncle Clifford was like, girl, like, what you gonna do? Like, nothing would have been different if you was there. So then we found out that Patrice is running for mayor. And of course, Mercedes is telling, Uncle Clifford, look at what you did. You done built this monster. And he was like, what? Just because we was trying to get the referendum about the casino, I ain't got nothing to do with her running for mayor. Like, this ain't on me. So then she gets a text from Coach saying, look, you need to come and finish what you started the other night. Like, I'll be back in town this afternoon, come through. So Mercedes ends up going to the, she goes to the condo and she think Coach is there, but it ain't Coach, it's Coach's wife. And I knew that. I said, that ain't Coach. So she gonna sit there and pretend like she just happened to be there picking up some of her equipment. And Mercedes was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just wait for Coach. And Mercedes actually starts getting on the pole and sort of dancing around on the pole. And the wife starts taking pictures of her. And she was like, I'm sorry, but, you just, it's just what you do is just so artistic. It's just, And of course, they got this nervous energy between the two of them because both of them were like, I ain't never did no mess like that the other night. But for whatever reason, they are attracted to each other. There's some sort of, attraction that they have to each other. And, you see this whole thing coming before it happens, right? You see this whole setup. You see that, Mercedes gets to dancing on the pole and she's taking pictures of Mercedes and they start making googly eyes at each other and they talking and, come to find out she finally admits that Coach ain't coming, and she makes a little flippant comment about Mercedes being a stripper. So it totally ruins the mood. And she apologizes to Mercedes and Mercedes was like, nah, you said what you meant. Like, you good. That's how you feel. She was like, no, like, that's not how I feel. Child, next thing I know, they kissing. Cause she's helping her on the pole, teaching her how to work the pole and all that good stuff. And she's showing where her thrust muscle is to do the right kind of twerking. Like, you see the whole setup, right? So you know what ended up happening, child. They end up having sex, okay? Both of them end up dating. And for somebody who ain't never done it before, Coach's wife, you look real comfortable down between Mercedes' legs. And the way Mercedes was moaning, it sounded like you knew what you was doing, girl. I don't know if I believe you. Now, Mercedes, I'm going to go ahead and give you the benefit of the doubt. But I don't know if I believe you, Coach's wife. Because I feel like you knew what you was doing. You was a little too comfortable. Okay? Then we see that Mississippi, she got her eyelash. So she down. She doing what she doing. She on her Instagram promoting her new eyelashes at the beauty supply store down to the Mississippi. And Gidget is with her. Gidget then came on the road with her. So, listen, Mississippi is doing her thing. She is continuing to glow up. They're on the road. And Murder is, he turned to his manager like, yo, why? Like, look at what Mississippi got going on. What you gonna do for me? Like, when you gonna get me some promos? When you gonna get me some stuff? Like, what's good? So while they're out there, talking and everything, Big T is letting everybody know that there's been another murder of, a black man, by the police. And Mississippi's manager was like, oh, I wonder what he did. Big T was like, why he had to do something? Why is it that he did something? So so she was like, so of course they kind of had a standoff or whatever. But anyway, next thing you know, they getting on the road and they headed out. Now we see Haley is still living in the damn Pynk, child. She is still in the Pynk. And Colin comes through to offer her some money. He said, listen, he's like, you need to just go ahead and sell to me. You need to go ahead and like, let's make this happen. And she said, listen, I already told you what I want. I already told you what my asking price is. Either you're going to meet it or you're not. So he was like, you know what? $1 million. That's my final offer. She said, you know what? You came up with that way too easy, which means that you could give me more. And you know the value of what I have. And she turns him down. Now, they still doing this whole ghost of Montavious in the Pynk type shit. I still don't know how I feel about that, okay? But come to find out, oh boy, Andre goes home to go ask his wife permission for him to run for mayor, which, first of all, you already know how your wife feel about anything dealing with Chuckalisa. So I don't know why you felt like you had to ask for her permission, and I don't know why you felt like she was going to give it. But neither here nor there. He walks up in the house, and of course, he walks in on his wife on her knees, paying tribute to her co-worker, the doctor we saw last week. And of course, he loses his mind. He damn near kills the dude. And, his wife is upset. But I think she's more upset that, like about the fight than about the fact that she got caught. Because again, like, y'all marriage has been on some BS for a minute. Like, let's be real. Like, y'all marriage is... So he said, and to think I was here to ask you, for your permission to run for mayor. She was like, run for what? She said, are you serious right now? She said, so you done took your happy tail back to Chuckalisa, and now you going to run for mayor? She was like, you're not going to win, right? Like, my father offers you a perfectly good job. You turn his job down because you want to go be mayor of Chuckalisa? So, yeah, their marriage is pretty much a wrap. I don't even understand why. Yeah, anyway. So, Big L comes through. A truck, Uncle Clifford is trying to figure out how he's going to make this whole thing happen and get everything they need to get the Pynk open. Big L comes through. A whole tractor trailer shows up with all the PPE stuff that they need. The partitions, this, that, the other, wada. And it's a crew of dudes, some African dudes that I guess Big L know from somewhere that he know them from. And then the crew comes through, all the strippers come through. And guess who else ends up showing up? Diamond. And, Uncle Clifford was like, I thought you told me you wasn't, like, you was done with this. And he was like, I still, I'm still on the group chat. And I saw that y'all needed help, so I'm here to help. And Uncle Clifford, they tried to convince him to come back and work. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm here to help for today. I'm here to help y'all get open, but I'm not, no, not me. So, and when the guys showed up, they mentioned to Big L that the reason why they were running late is because the interstate was backed up. And then we see that Lil Murda and them, they stuck in traffic too. So what happened was there's some protests going on because the murder of the guy that Big T told them about, of course, is, basically they're doing a playoff of like Michael Brown or George Floyd. Like, protests have broken out all over this area. So traffic is backed up. The police are shutting down roads. And while they're sitting in traffic, they end up hearing DJ Never Scared on the radio. Lil Murda immediately knows that's DJ Never Scared. Like, he knows his DJ. He knows his producer. And they realized it was him. And so he ends up calling him. He like, yo, what's good? You on the radio. And Never Scared was like, you could be on the radio too. I keep telling you to send me that feature. And Lil Murda's thing is, I don't know who the feature is for. But now that he actually hears that Never Scared actually is on the radio, he was like, at this point, I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and send him. He said, well, when you need it by, he was like, yesterday. But, if you can get it to me tonight, that'd be cool. But, because now at this point, he's like, well, I know I'll be on the radio. I guess he's like, it don't matter who is with it, at this point. So, so everybody is down to the Pynk, and they got, You know, they cooking, they got food, they feeding everybody, they getting it done, they putting up the plastic and all that good stuff. And they find out that there's a curfew, and basically the curfew starts like in 10 minutes. And so Uncle Clifford was like, listen, we just all got to stay here tonight. Like, it is what it is. You know, so a couple of the ladies end up leaving like, nah, I'm going to go ahead and make my way home. And, Uncle Clifford, you know, they go in the back, you know, he said, we got a couch in the back, we got this, we got that. And that's when he realized that Haley been living at the Pynk. He didn't know, but they found her clothes and stuff, and he realized that that's where she been living ever since Mercedes put her out. Big Bone end up taking Diamond home. They have this whole little flirt scene, child, I don't care. But Diamond, when he went in the back, he went back into the little champagne room. He did have a moment where he saw Montavious trying to come up out the floor, child. I guess the floor was water or blood or whatever, and he had a whole moment, but of course it was a vision, it wasn't real. And that's when, you know, after that happened, that's when Uncle Clifford was like, you know, we really need you. Big L was like, I really need you on security. And he was like, yeah, nah, that's not gonna happen, dog. Woo, that's good. That's not gonna happen. So then we see, Patrice is on camera telling everybody to calm down, telling everybody to go home. We don't want no trouble. We don't want no blood in the streets. You know, be calm. We know this is a horrible thing. I understand your anger, but y'all need to go home. Andre walks up in there, mad as hell. Uncle Clifford talk about something. You look like a man that just found out his wife was cheating on him. He was like, I did. Uncle Clifford was like, oh shit, I did. Ooh, I didn't think I was right. My bad. Okay, my bad. So then Duffy walks in on Roulette. Roulette had a whole moment. She ran out, you know, she's crying, she's upset. And that's when her and Duffy have a moment where she ends up telling him about her brother and about her brother being killed and this, that, and the other. So they kind of bond on that or whatever. And you get to see a little different side of Roulette. I mean, you see this hard exterior, you know, person, but you see that there's some other stuff there. I mean, she's still a hoe, but you see that there's some other stuff there, some other things going on. Mercedes wakes up, you know, after she done did the do with the do, and she got all these messages and text messages, and she finds out what's going on because she didn't know about, you know, the riots and all of that. So she ends up leaving the penthouse and driving to the Pynk because, of course, Mercedes feels like she just got to be there. You know, forget about being on the street. Now, Big Teak is totally caught up in this story. You could definitely tell that he's having some sort of PTSD, some sort of moment, because he cannot stop watching the news. He can't stop watching TV, and he is totally fixated on this story of whoever this guy was that got killed. And they're in the hotel room trying to have like a little, you know, they lounging, they chilling, they smoking, they drinking, they trying to have a chill out moment, and he can't do it. Like he can't allow himself to have that moment. And he ends up getting into it with the manager, and Gidget ends up yelling at him because now Mississippi is having some PTSD with all the yelling and the fight. You know, she's gone into her place that she goes, I guess, where old boy be whooping her ass. And I'm gonna give Gidget some credit. Now, Gidget, you a damn fool because you was all in that man's face like he won't whoop your ass. But she ain't back down. She was like, you think I'm scared of you? I'm not scared of you. I mean, she definitely did not back down. I gotta give credit where credit is due because she did not give into it. So they end up getting Big Teak out of there. You know, they end up getting him out of there. He goes to his room. Now, Lil Murda is in the bathroom trying to drop the latest track so he can send it to Never Scared. And he sees that something's wrong with Teak. He like, yo, what's wrong? What's going on with you? And child, they had sex. I'm not going into all of that. They, you know, of course, he talks to him about, you know, what's going on with him and, you know, why the guys and why it's always us. And he was like, I don't even understand why my mama had me because, you know, no matter what I do, I'm always just going to be a nigga. It's just going to be, I could be an educated nigga. I could be it's always going to be a nigga in this country. But then he tells Lil Murda, but you going to make it. Like I believe in you. You going to be the nigga that's going to get out of here. Like you, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. And child, like I said, they end up having sex, child. Which, of course, we knew that there was something between them. Like, we already knew. Back down to the Pynk, Mercedes finally shows up. And we see Haley is outside talking to Andre. And basically, Haley is laying out her she's laying out her plan to Andre. She's letting Andre know that her plan all along was to sell the Pynk. She knew it was prime real estate when she bought it. She knew it was an investment, and she just waiting for the right offer. And she gonna drop it. She gonna sell it, and she gonna roll the fuck on. And Uncle Clifford overhears it, and Uncle Clifford is pissed off because he was like, "So you never had any intention of saving the Pynk? Like we were always just an investment to you. We were never family. You never cared about us." And of course, her and Mercedes getting, Uncle Clifford tells her, basically you have for, he's pissed off now. A part of me don't understand why he's so damn mad. Like, I get that this is family, it's legacy. I know last year they explained that his family owned it, and it was like the place to be during segregation and all that. I get all that, the Chitlin Circuit and stuff. But like Haley said, she was like, listen, we'll make enough money from the profit of the sale that you can go build you another Pynk. Like, you can build another Pynk. You'll have enough money to do whatever you want to do. But of course, I think he's more upset at the deception of it, because he really, I think, felt like she cared as much as he did. But you can't expect somebody that just met you to be as invested as you are. It's your baby. It's your business. It's your family's business. So then, of course, Mercedes said, Montavious was right about you. You an easy person to love, but you an even easier person to hate, honey. And they leave her standing there, and she looking crazy, like, damn, like, I'm not even understanding why y'all mad at me like that, for real. So the next day, the lady come out to do the inspection. Child, they still fail inspection. They go through all of that, and they still don't have everything they need. She said it's a lot better than where I found it, but this still ain't ready to open. So they ended up getting another citation. I don't think she's gonna close them permanently like she said she was, but she told him, please get it together. Like, you know how much I love the Pynk. Get it together. Get it together. So the next morning, Lil Murda wake up, Big T dressed, packed, ready to go. And he gonna say to Lil Murda, who Clifford? He got the postcard in his hand. He like, who Clifford? He said, as long as I was locked up, you ain't never sent me no postcard. And I said, oh, poor Big T. He really thought he did something. Oh. So back down to the Chugalisa, come to find out that the mayor, in his will, he actually left his house to Andre, and they mad at Andre, child. They getting everything out that house. They taking everything out that house. But they mad that Andre, and my thing is, don't be mad at Andre. It ain't his fault. He ain't do it. But now that he actually owns the property, he has the house, he absolutely is going to run for mayor. And I'm sure there's a part of Montavious' plan. You know what I'm saying? But he told him in his will, he said, so you'll always have a place to call home. But child, they cleaned that house out. And I'm sure, like, the will probably didn't say all, I don't know if the will said all its contents or not. But baby, they cleaned that house out. It ain't shit left in that house, okay? But anyway, he ends up calling and saying, meet me at my new headquarters, honey. And that's what it is. So that's the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.